and another one of our regular Rich Habits, Poor Habits webcasts with Tom Corley. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Michael. How you doing?
Good, thank you. In our studies and in our books, we've written about the concept that there seem two groups of what I would call poor people. And one of them are those people, Tom, who unfortunately, because of their circumstances, don't earn enough income. But there's another group of people, Tom, I've noticed too, who seem to have good income, who seem to have good jobs, and yet they're still poor. They live from pay packet to pay packet. You ask them how things are going and the money doesn't last as long as the month does. And if you ask them what's wrong, they'd normally say, I'm not earning enough money. But they're often earning 5, 10, 15% more than they did, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and they still aren't making ends meet. What's going on, Tom?
Well, you're right. I have some data on this. There's about 40, at least in the United States, there's about 46 million people who are considered in poverty. 30 million of them, however.
Of course, talking about Western countries, Tom, that are affluent. This has nothing to do with those unfortunate people living in countries that are not as affluent as ours.
No, and you really want to listen. This is really relevant for industrialized countries because they're the countries that, even though their poor people are poor, they are rich compared to, the real poor people around the world. And
we always have to keep that in perspective, don't we? Our poorest people are still richer than the rich people in many other parts of the world.
Yeah. So like in the United States, we have poor people, 46 million, at least according to the Census Bureau. But 30 million of them, Michael, actually, if you were to take their need spending, their income exceeds their need spending. So what's the problem? Why is it that they make more money than they need, yet they're still poor? They spend every dollar, and it's because of this poor habit that is want spending. They spend their money on things that they want: 60-inch TVs. They want the latest iPhone. They basically have a lot of the things that middle class and wealthy people have, not all of the things, but some of the things. They want to have that lifestyle, even though they're poor. So they engage in want spending, and in fact, it gets so bad that they have to go into debt, a credit card debt, in order to get the things that they want today, rather than what used to happen in the 50s and the 60s in the U.S., where you would wait until you had enough money, because we didn't have credit cards really weren't around in the 50s.
I guess that's feeding this desire for instant gratification. Tom, you're right. When we grew up, there used to, in Australia, they call it lay-by. I'm not sure what they call it in the United States, where you'd put a small amount into the shop, and every week you'd come and put a small amount of your savings, and then you'd eventually get your coat, your suit, your bag, your shoes. You didn't buy anything until you could afford it. But today, people see their credit card and they think it's their money. The money on your credit card limit isn't your money, is it, Tom?
No, and that's the problem. It's you're actually subsidizing your standard of living with credit cards, and what you're really subsidizing is the want spending, and that's a poor habit.
Well, another poor habit is that of instant gratification, and the two sort of go hand in hand. There's been some studies, Tom. There's that famous one about children with marshmallows. Did you read about that one?
Yeah, the Marshmallow Study. In fact, I've cited that in some of the articles that I've written for CNBC and for Business Insider and other media outlets. That Marshmallow Study is still one of the most significant studies, and in that study, as you know, they found, because it was a longitudinal study, which means they followed these kids into their adult lives and then called them back, and they found out that the kids that engaged in delayed gratification, meaning they didn't take the one marshmallow and eat it right away, they waited until they could get 2 marshmallows. And so those kids wound up being more successful. And on top of that, which I think is even more important than success, they were happier.
So the concept is a rich habit is actually being able to delay gratification, while a poor habit is that of not being able to, wanting instant gratification. And that's very short term, Tom.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Michael, it's a byproduct of our evolution. When we were just in survival mode, living day to day, trying to find food, the early humans would, if they found a source of food, they would they would gather as much of it as they could, and they'd gorge themselves. And so this instant gratification mechanism was hardwired into us from our very early human days, and we have to fight that instinct, that hardwired instinct to to gorge ourselves and get what we want immediately.
I guess not all animals are like that, because the squirrels would squirrel away their nuts to see you over the winter time, while humans don't do that. Now, that's one of the many, many habits that we discuss in our book, Rich Habits, Poor Habits, which is actually doing very, very well in Australia, in the United Kingdom, in the United States. If you go to richhabitspoorhabits.com, you can get your copy, your ebook copy, or a physical hard copy as well. There's lots of other rich habits and poor habits that we have individually worked on, learned about, discovered in our studies and our mentoring of our clients, Tom. So can we come back next week and have a chat about another one, please?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, Michael.